Hey guys, Long Haul Larry. It has been a little while since I've actually recorded. I've been super sick. Uh, I dropped the cab on this truck. I'm not sure what I recorded, to tell you the truth. And I dropped the cab on this truck, and then we brought it in the shop here, and got it in here, and the heater wasn't really putting on a lot of heat and stuff. So I was like, I was out of propane, so I was like, I'm done for the night. And I was like, I was frozen to the bone, and so I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go to bed, get a good night's sleep, deal with the propane in the morning, and start piecing everything together. I woke up the next morning. Wow, I feel bad. I was basically bedridden for about 3 days. Super bad. Fought through it. Took some COVID tests. Turned out to be negative. I did 2 of them a couple days apart. Turned out to be negative. It was just like, oh, it's that cold, and I kept dealing with it. And I couldn't work. I couldn't come down here. I couldn't work. I could hardly even walk to the bathroom. It was so bad. And then it was like Wednesday. I started feeling a little better, and I came down here for one time for like 2 or 3 hours. I came down here, tried to do a little bit, and I pieced a few things here or there and stuff. And I couldn't even talk. And I just wasn't recording. And it's just piecing together wiring and everything, putting together this and that, plug it back together. And I went in, and it was too much. And the next day tried to recover, and then everybody's after me. You probably have some pneumonia. You got to get to the doctor. Everything else. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. Finally, Friday, I gave up, and I actually went to the doctor. They did chest X-rays and everything. Doctor was even like, yeah, you got pneumonia. And they did chest X-rays, and they did lab work on me. And then the doctor came back in the room, and he goes, nope, you're good to go home. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, your lungs look all good, congested. Hang on. and everything, but just lots of rest and cold medicine, and just, make your way through it. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, you got bronchitis. And so I have been resting, relaxing. It's actually been over a week since I put in this cab on, and what should have taken me a day to piece together this cab and putting all the different stuff, all placing it all back in there and hooking wires and everything else. I've got the inner fenders all put in. I got the front end pretty much done. I got to put the front part together that holds on to the condenser and stuff. I'm not going to hook the condenser up right away because I forgot to order a new transmission cooler. There was a couple things I forgot to order. I thought I did order a new air charge air cooler, and I looked and looked, and I didn't have it around here, and I went looking all through the stuff that I ordered, and I didn't have it, and I never ordered it, I guess. And so, everything else is new, and I was like, whoa, kidding me. And then I started looking online and stuff, and they're like anywhere from like $350 to $650, different ones. And I decided to test this one, and you guys have seen me test the ones on trucks and everything, how you get set up with a PVC pipe and all that stuff. I did this one a little different. I'll show it to you. I actually took the caps that came with the turbo, plastic caps, and put this on the one side of it, and then just duct taped it like crazy. And I put the other one on the other side and duct taped that one on real good. And I just put air into it, and it did really well, and it didn't blow them off or nothing, but they were leaking a little bit. And then I put clamps on them, and they held pretty good. And I filled it up, and I put 25 pounds of pressure into the air cooler, and the air cooler held it. There was no leaks or nothing else. And I just went, I'm gonna leave it. So I cleaned it all up really good and blew all the stuff out of it, made sure it's all got clean passages through it and everything, and it's all cleaned up. and it tested okay and stuff. So I'm gonna reuse it because order a new one. It's gonna be pretty pricey, but the thing is that it's gonna take probably a week to get here, and I don't have that time. I need to get home. I need to start looking for a job. I need to get home, get back to my life. But I don't know what happened, some mental error or something, but I didn't even realize there was a transmission cooler, to tell you the truth. I know the transmission line's just hooked to the bottom radiator. I forgot there was one. There was one, and I was like, oh man, I should have replaced that. And I'm like, but wait for it and everything else. And I had this one, and I thought, well, and it had this funky line that somebody had gimmicked onto one of the tubes and stuff, and was sticking on it. And I thought if I flush it and everything else, it should be okay. And I had bought new lines. I had the kits and everything, all brand new lines, and it came with the 2 hoses and all this stuff. And so I pulled off the old hose, and when I did that, I noticed down in this pipe it had like a bunch of RTV on it and stuff, and the hose came way past where it should have, and I kind of tipped it, and actually the line has a hole in it. And so I did some calling around today, or yesterday, Saturday morning, and I found another one, and it's actually going to be here tomorrow. So I'm not going to hook the condenser up and stuff. I can start this. I have the cooler bypassed right now and just hooked to the bottom of the radiator, and the hose is going directly there. There's supposed to be a hose that comes out of one side of the radiator, goes to the cooler, and then the other one goes to the return. And I have it just set up that way. So I can start the engine, and it's not going to leak coolant or leak transmission fluid. It's not going to pump it all over the floor. I don't want to be pumping my AMSOIL fluid all over the place. But I can start it and run it and all this stuff, and then I can just change that out in a couple days. So I've been piecing together, and this has basically taken me over a week to do what should have done in a day. But I am there. I've got the inner fenders here. I got everything up underneath all done. I got the emergency brakes all put in. Got everything replaced. And I tell you what, when me and Tyler put the cab on, then we put the steering gearbox in so we could steer it coming down here, and we ended up breaking one of the lines that I saved. I thought it would be okay, and it wasn't, and we broke it. And I actually went online real quick, and that happened, and looked online, and I found one online, and you can see it's down here. It's this one right here. Goes up to the Hydro Boost up there, and you can see this is the one that I had to replace last year up in the UP, and that was like 130 bucks. And that one there, I saw it on eBay. Guy had it on there, was selling them for 34 bucks, and I was like, wow. And I called Ford and I talked to them. They had one they could get for me in a day or something, and it was $144. And I was like, man. I quick order went off eBay, and I thought, let's just take a chance. I got it in. It was a direct fit. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything is good. And all the fittings, all the O-rings, everything that came with it and stuff. And so I ended up putting that in there, so that saved a bunch of money. But she is ready to go in. The only thing I gotta do is a couple more zip ties down in this area, and then I can put the turbo pipes from down here going up in there, connect that. I got the new clamps. I just got back from town and bought all new clamps to put on here, and then I can hook that up, and I can drop in my battery box and air box and all this stuff, and hook up all that, the filter, and get all hooked up. And then it's just dumping fluids in and turning the key and firing this thing up. And so that is the plan today. Let's get this thing fired up, runner, and make sure everything is all good, and then we're gonna start moving on from there to different projects. And the next big project that's gonna happen is once I get this running, I'm going to be starting to sand the whole truck. I'm just gonna scuff the truck down with like 120 grit sandpaper, and with my orbital sander, and everything's gonna get sanded. All the rust spots have been taken care of and sandblasted, and then repainted with the POR 15 paint. All that's been taken care of, but the whole truck is gonna be taken down and sanded and just kind of scuffed up. and I am actually going to be repainting this truck. I'm going to be doing it with bedliner paint by Raptor to make these kits. Makes it super easy. And guys, if you look on YouTube and stuff, people have been painting, you know, all different colors and stuff. I'm gonna do the black, so I don't have to do any of the interior, you know, stuff and everything. But you paint it right over top of the paint. It'll keep it rusty and keeps everything, any kind of ding damage and stuff like that. You don't have to do crazy body work to get it perfect, you know, and stuff. You won't see flaws. The only thing is that these doors, I was thinking about replacing them. This one down here is starting to rot, and the one on the passenger side is definitely rotten. And I have bought a new kit. They're door skins. It's the outside bottom panels of the doors and the inside. And I'm going to be taking the doors off and then working on the doors and stuff. And the next stage after this, when I get this running, is to do all that. I'm gonna take the doors off. I'm gonna take the truck, fire it up, get it out of the shop, take it, park it up in another building, and then I'm gonna bring the bed of the truck in here, and I gotta start working on that, and getting rid of a bunch of rusty metal on there, and replacing stuff that I bought, and getting that all cleaned up and repainted and everything. And I'll be working on these doors, welding all this stuff on here. And when I get that stuff together, then I'll bring the truck back down here, put the doors on, drop the bed on it, and then we'll do a whole final paint job on it. So, well guys, all the fluids are in. Everything's been topped off and stuff when it runs. It will take a lot of the fluids in and everything else, and everything will kind of settle. I'll have to recheck everything. Just remember, if you ever do something like this, that the H-pop, make sure to pull that little plug, dump a whole bunch of oil through there, make sure the H-pop reservoir is full. So we are all, everything's topped off. I double checked everything, went over everything, and everything is good. I got a battery charger hooked up to it. The two brand new batteries, but we're going to do a lot of cranking. I actually do not have any fuel in the fuel filter assembly. I'm actually going to be doing a bunch of like 30-second cranks, just to get the oil pressure built up through the engine, get the oil all circulated, and do this for a whole bunch. And then I will stop, and then I will pull the fuel bowl filter top off, look down in there, see if it's getting fuel yet. I might pump all the fuel up, I might start filling it. But if it isn't getting up there yet or whatever, then I will dump some fuel in there, and then I'll go back to cranking. But first we're just going to build oil pressure, so that when it does fire, everything's got oil. Give her a whirl, girl. All right. Working on things. Actually got the hood on there. My brother-in-law and my sister have been down here and they've been sanding for me, and that'll be a later video. You guys will see what's going on here and stuff, but they've been doing a lot of sanding and really helping me out with some stuff. Well, we're gonna fire it up now, and you guys can hear it run and stuff. It runs good. It's running pretty good. It's got a air conditioning deal. It's feeling pretty good. Sounds real good. Well, there you guys go. So the motor started. It's running. AC compressor, I think, is going to have to be replaced. It's a little squeaky. Might be able to change out this one and just change the hub with the bearing and stuff in it.
But otherwise, everything is going pretty
I'm
good.
gonna run her a bunch, and I actually ordered a tablet. It's a code reader type thing where you can actually fix things and do different activities and everything else with it, and it's pretty sophisticated. And I'll run it for a while, and then probably hook up to that when I get it and see if anything is triggering it and stuff. But I think she'll be all right. So there you go. So she's all running now. So now I got to move on, and my goal is to really kind of pound out some things and get my truck running and get out of here. I need to get back to the UP. I got to find myself a job. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night. If you watch this here video, if not, certainly try that all over again tomorrow. See ya.